Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Investing with Quito. So thank you for joining me. And this is my fourth live. So I've told you like this year, my goal is to be consistent. And so Monday is my time. I started doing it. I started Thursdays, and I realized Thursdays was a challenge, and I moved it to Monday. So at least for now, Monday is gonna be my consistent where I come on live. I will share with you what's going on and the different thing regarding the real estate investing, regarding the projects I'm on and whatnot. So I appreciate you joining, whether you're joining live, you're gonna be watching a replay down the road. And it's also too is this is gonna help me just kind of document my journey, right? The things that I'm going through, so I can look back a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and just kind of watch the growth. But more importantly, is I want to be able to provide value, right? Like I want to be able to inspire that anybody can invest in real estate, right? And share with you what I've done, and whether I get one people, inspire one person or 100. Like to me, I just want to provide value and just put it out there. I'm not a guru. I don't sell anything. There's nothing to buy from me. I'm just gonna share with you what I'm working on, um, and basically just sharing along the journey. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate this, and if I can, if I can make an impact on somebody, that's just my goal. So thank you. So today I really want to just touch on you know the topic of mindset, right? Getting your mind right. I just had a situation that happened to me. It's kind of funny, I guess, in a sense. So my wife and I, we were going to go uh, on a trip for the weekend, just to LA. As you know, we live in Billings where it's cold there, so she wanted somewhere warm. So we figured, okay, let's go somewhere. So I booked the flight, booked the car rental, booked the hotel, right? And so we were prepared, and we told our kids that, hey, mom, dad, we're going to go out of town, so you guys behave, and we'll be back. And we're going to leave Sunday, which was yesterday, and then we were going to come back late Tuesday. So it's just a really short trip, and the flight was at 5:30 in the morning. And I usually go to bed late. I usually go to bed around like midnight, but then I naturally get up around 5 o'clock. So my wife sets her timer. Okay, well, we're gonna get up at 3 o'clock, and then we'll get ready. We'll be at the airport by 4 because boarding's at like 4:45, and we'll be good to go. So I have everything set. I got my suitcase all ready. So we're all set, and we go to bed. I wake up, and it's 5:10 in the morning, and she gets up, and she's looking at her cell phone. She's thinking it's 3 o'clock. She's, oh, maybe I'll get up in like 5 minutes. But no, it was 5:10. So we basically missed our flight. At first, I felt a little panic. Oh my goodness, like what are we gonna do? So realizing that we missed our flight, and she she just went back to bed. And so, and here's the thing. It's about your mindset, about your attitude, right? We could have gotten all panicky, got upset each other. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And got all upset about the trip that we planned. Um, but you know what? We just checked it out, laughed, because it was the first time this has ever happened to any of us. I mean, I've seen lots of trips and stuff like that, and this is the very first time that we ever slept. So it was kind of funny. And so the whole day we were just teasing each other and thinking, man, because we would have gotten there at like 10 o'clock, and we had a plan of things that we're going to do, like, because we love to eat, love to try new places. So we're going to go to different restaurants, go to different places. So we're just kind of teasing, like, yeah, we were there. We would have been doing this. We would have been doing that. And so, what it really boils down to is this, it's having the right mindset and the right attitude. Because really, now, like, if you knowingly know or unknowingly, right, we're all programming our mind in some way, form, or fashion since the day we were born, right? you know, from how our parents raise us to the environment we're in, to the friends we hang out with, to the situations that happen to us in life. We're all programming our mind. And 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 what's and the thing is that most people aren't really consciously programming their mind. They're just letting things happen to them, and then they make a decision on what that basically means. So, like for example, if you take two people, you fly them up, in the airplane, you put a parachute on them and you throw them off, right? You know, one person may have a different experience. They may feel excited, like, wow, this is thrilling, this is awesome, just having a great time. And the other person, the same experience, right? They may be scared to death, they may be upset, whatever it is. But the thing is, the like same situation, but how they experience it had it all do with their mindset and how they perceive things. So in life, things are going to happen to us, right? And however we make the meaning to be is what is going to be for us, right? Like you could say, like I just see a lot of, I mean, examples of people just going through the toughest time. And I mean, they've been abused, they've been raped, they've been whatever it is, right? Just horrific stuff happened to them. But yet they come out shining, they come out winning in life. And it's because, the difference was, yes, those things that happened to them was tragic, horrible, right? But it was their mindset and how they perceive that. They use that as a fuel for them to move on to achieve the things that they want, whatever it is that they want out of life, right? Versus using that as an excuse, like, oh, poor is me, this happened to me, therefore I can't ever achieve in life, right? So that's why it's so important that that we consciously program our mind, creating a mindset. I call it the PMA. Actually, I didn't coin that up, but I read a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in there, he talks about a positive mental attitude. And speaking of which, if you have not read the book Think and Grow Rich, I tell you, it is a must read. Put it on your must read list as a great book. When you think of rich, think it's about, it is really not about money. It's like not talking about like rich. It's, you know, you learn these principles. And a lot of it is like biblical based too, right? I'm a believer, right? So a lot of it's biblical based about, having the right mindset, having the positive attitude that will help you grow. So PMA, positive mental attitude. And I mean, I even experienced in my own life, as you know, my story where I lost everything. I mean, it was horrible. But you know what? If it wasn't for having a positive mental attitude, right? I mean, even though at the time, yes, I mean, am I always really like uppity up? No, what I was, but just having that positive mental attitude that things will work out. Even though at the time I didn't see any way, anyhow, things were going to work out, but I knew that it will work out. So just having that mental attitude that things will work out kind of kept me going, right? I could have said, man, this is horrible. I'm just crawl in my cave and just sulk, right? But I knew that things would work out, even though I didn't know how. And that's the thing, is just having that faith, having that positive mental attitude that things will work out. I was talking to a friend of mine over the weekend. It was one of the friends that we are going to meet while we are on a trip. And I was sharing his challenges, right? And I mean, really bright guy, smart guy. I mean, understands all this, but sometimes it's good to get a reminder, right? It's good to get a reminder, right? Because, in life, we see a lot of, I mean, with Instagram, with the social media, I mean, it's so easy to really compare yourself to other people. Like, man, they're at this stage. I mean, they look like they're having a great time, and here I am. I'm suffering. Things aren't going my way, and it's easy to compare, right? And we get insecure. Just kind of human nature. We all want to be liked. We all want to be loved, and so we're just comparing ourselves. And when we compare ourselves to other people, then we don't really appreciate our our own like situation, right? So it's easy to fall into that trap. But the thing is like whatever happens, no matter what situation you're at, like just it's a journey. It's a process. When we look at people, you know, at other stages, yeah, we see them successful, but here's the thing, like we don't know the behind the scenes what took them to get there, right? So we're comparing them, where they are at this moment. And sometimes we compare ourselves like where we're at this moment because, we may be further along in our journey than we think we are. Just think back to where you were 3 years ago, 5 years ago to where you are now. Hopefully if you're in the, if you're always learning and growing, you're going to be in a better position now where you were a year or 3 years ago. And that's the same thing as where we are going to be in 3 years or 5 years from now is going to be different from where we are today, right? And so, and then for me, like, life is like you cannot stop time. Time is going to keep going. It's going to keep going, right? But what we do between that time, that's what's important, right? And how we program our mindset, how we, because look at it as your your mindset. It's your mental software. It's like a computer, right? Whatever you program it, you're going to get the output. So that's the same thing is with our mindset. Whatever we're programming in our mind, whether that's negative or positive, that's the output that we're going to get. Because our mind is just so powerful. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, just prime example. Like, you ever notice when you were going, when you were buying a car, and whatever car they say you're buying, like a Toyota 4Runner, and then you start to notice other Toyota 4Runners on the road. And you're like, man, where did this come from? Like, they're all over. Well, what the thing is, because in your mind, you're programming yourself, you wanted a Toyota 4Runner. So you start to see those things that you're seeking, and it starts to show you. Not that they weren't there. They were probably already there, driving around the road, but you just never notice it because that's not what you're programming to see. And there's actually a scientific thing on our brain. By any means, I'm no like I don't know too much about the brain, but what I do know is there's this part of our brain called the reticular activator, and basically what that is whatever you train your mind to see, it's going to see more of that, right? So you start to see more of the things that are you're seeking. So if that's the case, like, why don't you program your mind into something that's going to be positive and uplifting? Because you're going to see more of that, right? It's funny. I was sharing this story with my wife. Like, you see in my some of my cover my thumbnails, I have like the "I Buy Houses" shirt, right? True story behind this. I was I made that shirt, right, before I even started buying houses. Isn't that crazy? Before I started even buying houses, I made this shirt. In my mind, it's like, I'm gonna go out and buy houses. So I had a shirt made that says "I buy houses," and and the funny thing was, I I started buying houses. Even at the time, I didn't really know exactly how I was going to go buy houses, right? Like, I just knew I was going to buy houses. But because I put it in my mind, I programmed my mind, right, that that's what I was going to do. So I started So I started buying houses. And as you know my story, I bought many houses, right? Fix them, flip them, hold them, and whatnot. So, so that's what. So that's the importance of just really like training your mind, just getting around the right mindset and feeding it with something positive. Like I make a point to really protect the kind of content that I consume. Because if you're like watching the news, do you know notice the news has always like nothing but just negative news. Like this happened here. There's a market crash. There's somebody died. There's a house fire. So there's all sorts of things that because the news is designed to grab your attention, right? So that's why they have these negative, they share negative events because it grabs your attention, and that also feeds into back in the days, right, where it was important to notice that like stuff because that helped us avoid tigers and being eaten alive, right? And so that's so that was important. But nowadays, we live in a modern society where we don't really need that primitive type of thinking, right? And so, but now you see it a lot in the news. So I avoid like negative news. Not that I don't watch the news because I gotta keep up with what's going on, but I don't want to consume too much of that because it's just negative. So I try to consume stuff that's mainly pertinent to what my interest is, and I try to look for positive news. There's a good news network that I subscribe to, and I get like daily positive news of things happening. Like I um, so and that just kind of keeps my mind keeps my mind positive because I don't want to feed it negative stuff because it can get you down. So that's why it's so important, protect the mind because as you know, like I love real estate, right? But here's the thing: the most important piece of real estate is the 6 inches between your ears, right? That is the most valuable piece of real estate that you're ever going to own. So protect that, right? Feed it good content, right? Like I think last week I talked about always be learning, right? Always learning, always be growing, and that's the same thing is with the mindset. Like feed it some positive news, program it for the things that you want to achieve out of life, the things that you want to go after. Put those type of programming in, and be intentional about how you program it. Don't let the world, don't let the society program your mind. Like you be intentional about it. And some people think, oh, it's just kind of, isn't that kind of airy, fluffy thing? But no, it's not. Like you talk to anybody who's, succeed in life, and that's it. It's all about the mindset. You look at the athletes, the ones that are achieving a high level, you know what? They got to get the mindset right. And I'll start from here, guys. And that's what I want to stress to you is the importance of having, a programming your mind with positivity, with things that's going to help you grow, put some positive in it. And there's this example that I like to do. What I'll do is I'll take I'll take like a glass, like a big pitcher, and there's like it's muddy, right? And I said, well, this is like your brain. So imagine this, right? Imagine a picture of glass, and it's dirty, like really muddy. You can even see. You probably wouldn't want to drink out of it because it's muddy. Then imagine having a picture of water, right? What you're going to do is you're going to take the picture of water, you're going to pour it into this muddy glass, right? And you're going to keep pouring it. And as you can see, as as and the water, the picture of water kind of represents like positive thoughts, good thoughts, things that are positive, right? And that's what it represents. And as it starts to fill in the muddy glass, you're going to see the the dirty water is going to start to overflow, right? It's going to start to overflow as you fill this glass with clean water. And after a while, you're going to notice that that water is going to be clean, right? Just like your mind, right? Right now, maybe filled with a lot of clutter, might be kind of muddy, but as you start to put positivity into your mindset, right? And positive thoughts, keep pouring in, and it's going to overflow. And pretty soon, you're going to have a nice glass that you can drink from. And that's the same thing with our mind. We start to fill it in with some positive thoughts, right? And pretty soon, you know, these thoughts, because thoughts become things, right? These things, and then you're going to be able to, you know, have the life that you design for yourself, the life that you create for yourself. So that's really what I want to share with you guys. Thanks for joining me. I, hope it's helpful. And honestly, this is a what you're seeing live here is just my journey, my journey into creating my YouTube channel. And I can look back a year from now, 5 years from now, and say, man, this video looked horrible, whatever. But here's the thing: it's a process, and I'm starting. And whatever it is that you want to achieve in life out there, whatever your goals is, financial goals, investing goals, right? Just start. Start today. Start it imperfectly, and just keep going as you learn, you grow. Because a year from now, 5 years from now, it's gonna come. And if you don't start today, 5 years from now, you're going to look back and say, man, I wish I would have started 5 years ago. But here's the thing: you're starting now. So wherever you are, just start. And 5 years from now, you're going to be glad that you started. Because I guarantee you, whatever you start now, you're going to be further ahead than where you are today if you had not started. So, all right, guys, thank you. Thanks for joining me. If you like this, subscribe, comment. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I really appreciate you. Go out there. Thanks, guys.